Hey, it's me again, Go Element Autoworks. What am I doing? This is an instrument cluster. Where did this come from? What is this? This is from the 1985, oh, I'm sorry, the 1983 380 SEC. I gotta get my years right. I've had three of them now. I keep getting them confused. 1983 Mercedes 380 SEC. My instrument cluster was working just fine. Well, the mileage counter was working just fine when I bought the car. If you look at the mileage on here, 110,509. If you look at my first video when I first posted this car, look at the mileage. Yeah, it was counting. It was doing just fine. But I foolishly was pressing that button that resets it. It's not visible here because it's still a part of the cluster right there. But I pressed that, which resets this counter right here. And when I did that, like the second time I did it, it stopped working. So why is that? Why, when I reset this, did everything stop working? Well, first of all, why do I have it, disassembled? Not because of that, but while I have it disassembled, I'm going to investigate that issue. But I did that because my potentiometer, which is my dimmer switch, no longer works. Why do I call it a potentiometer? Because it takes a circuit and it regulates the resistance. And that is called a dimmer switch. In this instance, it's used as a dimmer switch. And it's a common problem that they go bad because I'm not getting any light on my cluster. And the reason why is because the dimmer switch is bad. Where'd it go? It's still attached. Okay, it's right here. Okay, there's a Phillips screw that holds it in from the back. And it looks like it's soldered on right there. These two connections right here. Boom and boom. Those are the connection points, and those are that's the circuit. Right now it's an open circuit because the potentiometer is not, the dimmer switch is not working. But if I were to jump that and that, then it would work. It would bypass this dimmer switch. And so basically all I'm going to do is just remove the old dimmer switch and then do that. Why is the dimmer switch not working? Well, if you look at it in detail, you can see the corrosion. It's going to be hard to see, but yeah, there's corrosion all up in there. And I don't know how it happens, but it happens. I don't know how moisture gets in there, but it happened. And so now there's corrosion and it no longer wants to work. The circuit is interrupted. Okay, that being the case, I'm going to remove it because by removing it and just jumping those 2 points, that means it's going to be on full time as bright as possible. Why would you want to decrease the light that's emitting, I guess, from the instrument cluster in your center console? I don't know, but it's old technology. People have been incorporating that in the cars for a while. Mercedes, of course, was ahead of the game with that. But for me, it's unnecessary. On my personal vehicles, I like my stuff as bright as possible. I never use the dimmer switch. I guess some people don't like their instrument cluster and center console or the light interior light bright. I don't know why you wouldn't, but whatever. So while I'm doing that, I'm like, okay, that's a simple fix. I had to pull the cluster out, which is easy because it's pressed in, and I just had to disconnect the, I think it's like an air line maybe for the oil pressure and then a couple other connections. I checked my bulbs first and the bulbs are good in there. Like each bulb is actually good, but I'm going to upgrade those to LED anyways, but you gotta at least have have power running through that circuit in order to upgrade the LEDs. You gotta make sure everything works first before you can, because also LEDs are like one directional polarity. And so you have to make sure that the circuit, first of all, is live and that you're receiving 12 volts. And then secondly, you have to make sure that you don't have them reverse so that they light up. All right, so that's that. Now, while I'm in here, I'm looking at this like, okay, well, why is this daggone thing working? It was a mechanical failure. Me pressing that caused it to stop working. That's a mechanical failure. Well, let's see. I heard that there can be a gear issue, that these gears are brittle. Is that true? I think it is. See if I can get enough light here. If I zoom in right there, there's something missing. If you get in there real close, it's hard to see with this camera, but there is a plastic gear that is broken off that's sitting in there. It's hard to see. That's a piece of plastic. That's a piece of gear right there that's broken off. So basically when I did that, that little gear shattered, and with no gear being on there, it's not going to, the counter is not going to count. And so I have to get that figured out. I have to, I guess, order what I need. But yeah, it's a mechanical failure. Like I said, the gear broke, it shattered, whatever, when I did that, when I pressed it. That's unfortunate, but at least the actual miles is not going to be that much of a difference because I don't drive it that much. I'm not driving it that much. So it could be a difference of maybe 10 miles, 20 miles or something like that from actual mileage. But that is not relevant because on titles, I rarely get the mileage right anyways. As long as that 110, 5 is on there. It can be 110, 5, whatever. As long as that mileage is correct, it's close enough to being accurate. So it's not going to make any difference when it comes to resale and all that. So a couple miles is nothing. But yeah, man, so I found out, that's what it is. And so anyone who has a source, a resource, or knows how to repair that themselves, what to order, let me know. It seems that the cluster's already been repaired before because I think I see a ticket somewhere. Yeah, there it goes. A repair order number. So it's been serviced before for whatever issue, I don't know, but it needs service again. So that's me. I'm about to do the service myself. I don't pay anybody if I don't have to. These cars, you can maintain yourself for the most part. So that's that. I interrupt this broadcast for a special announcement. I made a mistake. In the video, I said that there was a Phillips head holding this down, this dimmer switch, and that you had to desolder it in order to raise it off. I was incorrect. It's just pressed onto these two prongs right here. This right here, it's just pressed down onto it, and it was just hard to remove. That's all. It was on there stiff. And so I stand corrected. So just remove that screw and pull it up. You might have to pry it, but just don't damage the board in the process. You do not have to desolder it. I will solder a jump wire in between these two right here just to eliminate the need of a dimmer switch. So that's my fault. So I stand corrected. Once again, you learn as you go. All right. Peace out. Okay, I interrupt this broadcast once again because I got to show this. And look at that scar on my hand, man. I'm telling you, boy, working on cars is hard work. Look at that scar with a nugget ring on. I don't know. Just how I do. Anyway, so look at this right here, man. Look at the corrosion right there. Again, a potentiometer. This thing right here provides resistance. So as this turns, as the knob turns, as this knob turns, it's like there's something missing here. But I know there was a spring that popped out, but where is it at? Okay, here it goes. I knew something was missing. Oops. I'm burning something. Hold on. Okay. Dang. Hold on. I'm doing too much with one hand. Hold on. Okay. All right. So this right here is the contact on the dial that turns. It creates resistance. This coil-like shape right here. Say at this point, it might be the max resistance. At this point, it's the least resistance. As this turns on here, you're creating a contact point. You're closing a circuit. You're increasing and decreasing resistance, which allows your 12 volts or however many volts it is that's being fed to your lighting system to go brighter or dimmer, aka dimmer switch, aka potentiometer. This is a very basic design used in all types of applications, from televisions to obviously instrument cluster dimmer switches to all kind of things. Most electronics for a long time have incorporated a dimmer switch or a potentiometer into their designs. Okay, so that's a little bit of electronic education for you as to why the dimmer switch works and why, in this case, it's not working. I can easily clean this up, put the spring back on there, reassemble it, and it'll be good again. Why there was corrosion, I don't know. Obviously, it got wet, but that's how you fix a dimmer switch. Clean up the contacts, reassemble it, reattach it to your car. In my case, I'm not going to use this. I don't want this to happen again. I don't want to disassemble this instrument cluster unnecessarily. I'm going to bypass it. Anyone who buys this car from me, I don't think they'll have a problem with it. If they do, so what? All right. All right, it'll be in there. And I'll even let them know if they have an issue. Like, why can't I, make my instrument cluster less bright? I'm gonna say because, whatever. Why would you want it less bright? You can't see. Maybe because they're going to do a drive-by, roll real slow. They want all the lights off. Or maybe because they want to get intimate in the car and they need the lights dimmed. I don't know. Anyhow, it's not like these lights are that bright anyways. Back in the 80s, I guess they didn't really, want it too bright as it is. So that's why I'm going to upgrade mine with LEDs. All right, I'm just rambling. But yeah, that's how you fix it. That's why it works. That's why this one doesn't work. And that's how they're designed to function. Okay. All right, back at it. So when you disassemble this dimmer switch, make sure that you are careful not to lose these two springs. These two springs put tension on that, which rotates on this, which again closes the circuit between this and this. Now this was heavily corroded, had burn marks and oxidation. And this right here was heavily corroded, or not corrosion, but more of just like a buildup of carbon and burnt metal, whatever, just from the contact points. So those springs keep tension on that allows it to rotate and make contact between this right here, which is one end of the circuit, and this resistor that is on the other end of the circuit. That's what this coil thing acts as, a resistor. Okay. It's just a gradual resistor circuit. That's all this dimmer switch is, aka potentiometer. I like saying that word. Anyway, so that's what it's all about. So when you disassemble this thing, make sure the springs are in place. Make sure you don't lose them. Make sure you clean up these 2 points. These are the high points right here that rotate in the center on that. And make sure, of course, that this direct contact piece right here is cleaned up. And that's what rotates on this resistor / coil. Okay, all right. So disassembly is simple. Just got to be careful. And I am going to put it back together. I'm saying I'm going to jump it so that it's always, full voltage, full current. The current is always complete. The circuit is always complete. And there's no resistance. But I don't know. I know... if you want things to be original, you put them back to like original quality at least. You don't bypass the original engineering, I guess. I mean, I am all about long-term fixes. If that was the case, then I wouldn't put coilovers on ABC suspensions and replacement of ABC suspensions. But, I don't know, man. This will happen again down the road, but I mean, this car is a 1983. When is it going to happen again? 28 years down the road. I don't know. Dang, God. Hold on, 1983. What year is it? 2021? Oh, goodness. Is that 38 years old? Dang, let me do my math. Dang. Is that right? Or 28? No, it's 38. Jeez. 1983. Good Lord. This car is ancient. That's cool. Where is it at? That's down there at the end of the driveway. But, I don't know. I'll figure it out. Regardless, it'll be fixed. All right. So there it is, good people. This broken up gear right here. From this part, you see the green? The shaft right there? That right there. And these right here are the cause of the mileage no longer counting. Yep. On any W126 sedan or coupe, when the mileage stops, that gear is broken. That sucks. Okay, guys, so an update to that video that I made in 2021 is now March of 2022. And that gear in the instrument cluster regarding the mileage counter, the odometer, that gear was bad. I ordered a new gear set from eBay, and it came. I installed it, no problem. Everything is working just fine. So you can see here at the mileage, if you look at the counter right here, 111,086 miles. So obviously everything is working again, and these miles might be off by maybe 10 miles. So I say that's a pretty accurate count. And you know, it's a common issue, those gears. Keep in mind that this is a 1983, and so those gears over time in the 80s, apparently it's a very big problem in the 80s, maybe early 90s. But those gears, that plastic eventually softens up and the teeth of the gears begin to break. And once that happens, it will no longer count. And so it's a common issue. You can go on YouTube. You can look up other people's videos as to how you replace those gears. I did at the time make a video, but it somehow got deleted. And so I had to make this video as a follow-up to explain that I did fix it. It is repaired and everything is working properly. So again, thank you for watching my videos. Continue to like, share, subscribe, support what I do, and I'll support you. And I'll continue to make content explaining how to do this, how to do that. And I'll keep you guys posted. Any kind of changes I make, anything that I can remember to record, I'll do that so I can help you guys out. Until then, I'll talk to you guys later. Take care.